He's got horns.
Huh?
He's got horns.
Oh, yeah.
We can smell the slicking, putting his nose in the air.
I think it's a 6 right now.
Yeah. We are packed up pretty early because the mosquitoes are pretty bad here in this meadow. Might as well call it malaria meadow. You can probably see them flying around inside the truck here. So we're gonna make our way out of the wilderness here into a town of Du Bois. That's how they pronounce it. And kind of get a plan from there. Steve's wanting to get breakfast in town. So we'll see. Good night sky last night. Got some good photos of the comet. Alright, I think the GoPro cut off at the end of my last recording there. We had a pretty good night sky, got some more photos of the comet, and some sort of satellite that we've seen the last 2 nights in a row. Got some photos of it. That's interesting looking. Maybe I'll post those in the video. But it wasn't as clear as it was the night before or the night we were in the Sawtooth. We're making our way down to Du Bois, and I get a plan there. Steve's trying to have a little bit of a revolt on me for a hotel night, but I'm digging in my heels. That's not high on my agenda. Hotels. What's he thinking? It's getting soft. So, anyway, cruising out of the mountains. If we see anything cool, I'll let you know. Alright, we're headed east to Cody, where we're going to get on the Chief Joseph Highway and come in kind of right above the northeast corner of Yellowstone into the Beartooth Absaroka Wilderness. There's not really a good way to get up there. You can go through the park, which is crowded with people. Yellowstone, I mean. You can drop over to Jackson and to Driggs and go up the Idaho side, which could be kind of cool through the Targhee National Forest. You can go to Cody and come in through the east entrance of the park and make that outside east loop, which is a pretty remote section of the park. Or you can hit the Chief Joseph and bypass the park. Looks like there's a couple spur roads off Chief Joseph, so we might be able to find a place to camp tonight, so we don't have to go all the way up into the Beartooth. But we got 3.5 hours to Cody nonetheless, so I guess Cody will stop and gas back up, get any last minute supplies before heading back into the wilderness. It is back to high plains, canyon land, deserty looking sections of Wyoming right now. I had forgotten about this. Looks like we got a few tunnels, 3 of them specifically. Alright, starting to see some mountains off in the distance there. We're about 11 miles outside of Cody, Wyoming. We're going to grab some street tacos while we're there, gas up, and then head up Chief Joseph Highway, which will take us up to ultimately the Beartooth Highway. Alright, a year later, we're back at the same spot here in Cody, Wyoming to get some tacos before we head into the Beartooth. So I'll show you what we end up with. Alright, let's see what we got here. Ooh, that would be the nachos. And that would be the street tacos. One of each. What do you got there, Steve?
Veggie burrito.
Veggie burrito. Ray's getting soft.
Going light.
How is it?
It's like a burrito without any meat.
Like a burrito. Hence the veggie. Never a good idea. All right, tacos were good. We are headed out of Cody.
400 feet to the end of the street, then turn right.
Gonna get gas first.
Turn right at the stop sign.
I guess after I turn right at the stop sign, I'm gonna get gas. And we're gonna head out 120 till we get to the Chief Joseph Scenic Highway. And our goal is to find a campsite somewhere off of Chief Joseph tonight. And then into the Beartooth proper tomorrow. Although I think that Chief Joseph is technically in the Beartooth. So that's our story. Gotta find a gas station. See you in a minute. Oh my. We're 3 or 4 miles into the Chief Joseph Scenic Byway here. And off to the left, that direction is Yellowstone. Got a little bit of road construction right here. But, wow. There's a big giant canyon coming up here to the left. Kind of looks like Yosemite Valley right up above my mirror. There's snow-capped mountains off in the distance. Out behind these highway workers here, there's some gigantic rock formations. This looks like this is going to be a very special area. So I can't wait to shoot some video clips. I don't know if you can see over there. That's pretty spectacular. There's a valley, stone valley down there that looks like a little bit like Yosemite.
This kind of reminds me of coming in the backside to Tuolumne Meadows.
All right, descending our way down into this valley here. I think our road that turns off is probably going to start down in the bottom of that valley and then make its way up from there. Hopefully that's coming out on the GoPro. That is a spectacular valley, like of a size and scale that you don't see many of in the United States. And that was my impression last year when we came here, is that the Beartooth mountain range and the Absaroka are a pretty special mountain range. Very wild, because they're right up against the 2.2 million acres of Yellowstone, and pretty remote. But the geology here is unique unto itself. So yeah, tonight we're going to try to do this 4-wheel drive spur road that goes back in to the mountains, almost to the eastern edge of Yellowstone, if we choose to go that far. So that should be pretty awesome. We're just getting started here on Sunlight Road, which is off of Chief Joseph Scenic Highway. And it looks like on the topo maps that this goes almost...
Must be a real hassle for them to go to the grocery store now.
That's Steve talking about this little village that's back here in the, I don't know what you'd call this, the Chief Joseph Scenic Highway Valley. Between these two mountain ranges, there's a little village with not too many houses, maybe 20 houses in total back here. Steve's talking about it being difficult for them to go to the grocery store. But this road looks like on the topo map that it goes within a few miles of the eastern park boundary. The sign that we just turned on said 18 miles in, the maintenance ends. Doesn't mean the road ends, just means the maintenance ends. So the road's going to get sketchy 4-wheel drive once we get past 18 miles. But it looks like maybe we can go closer to 20 or 25 miles back in here and into the middle of nowhere and be really on the far eastern boundary of Yellowstone National Park. And if you're familiar with the park at all, the eastern side is a lot of wilderness, a lot of unbroken wilderness. And so we're coming in from the even more eastern side of that, off Chief Joseph, to try to get as close as possible to that far eastern side. So pretty excited. Lots of bear signs up on the highway here about This is a bear use area from April to October, so take precautions. So we're gonna have to be kind of switched on there, Scout. You hear me back there? You're in charge of bear patrol to let us know if there's a bear coming into camp. He's not paying attention to me. He's very stubborn right now. All right, here we go. What'd you say?
Starting to cramp up.
Uh-oh, you need to sprint ahead. We have horses on the highway. They don't seem to mind. Scout's gonna start barking any second though, so I gotta roll the windows up. We got horses on the highway.
Use your horn.
I'm trying to proceed gently.
Horn blow.
Scout's gonna start barking any second. Hey! Lay down. These horses literally do not care. That's a big horse. Does that upset you, Scout? Does it upset you those horses wouldn't yield the right of way for you? They didn't respect your German shepherdness? It's amazing, Scout. Did you get him? Did you tell him who was boss? I think if you go wandering off in the woods here, you better take your Glock and your shovel. Oh, here's this little campground.
I hope they have a pit toilet.
On the same day, I just ran into that other Moby owner twice. That's the other owner of the teardrop like mine that I'm pulling. We are headed up Sunlight Creek there's the road forks near the end. One goes to Sunlight Peak and the other one goes to a painter's cabin apparently. And it looks like it's about a mile from the eastern boundary of the park. So that's kind of my mission right now. See how close I can get to the eastern boundary of the park for camping. A lot of dispersed camping sites back here. Hey, there was a dispersed camping site right on the water. Well, there's a surprise for you. Spring Creek, vehicles permitted July 16th through September 30th. No camping, Sunlight Creek from Sulphur Creek North. So the road opens in July 16th. It is July 15th. That road will open tomorrow. So we're gonna backtrack and see if we can find something here on Sunlight Creek.
There's a fire pit.
Sounds like, what'd you find?
Yeah, it's a little circular deal here, so it would work for sure.
You gonna look and see if we can find a better one?
Well, I mean, it's fine. I don't think you're going to find any firewood here, and we didn't bring any with us. There's a couple pieces by the fire pit.
You ready to go for a trail run? Fat dog? Come on. He's not paying attention. All right, we'll see you.
Okay.
Hour and a half. All right. There's lots of horse flies in this camp. All right, Scott, let's roll. Come on. I think we're gonna run up part of this Sunrise Road or Sunlight Road along Sunlight Creek here that's closed to cars. And then maybe tomorrow we'll get to drive part of it. I forgot that we crossed this while we were driving. It's cold, but it's bearable. Alright, this is pretty awesome. Even though the road was closed to vehicles, to get us back into the park presented a perfect opportunity for Scout and I to turn it into a trail running area. And we are not being disappointed. That's the backdrop for this run. All right, I just clicked over 3 miles, so it's gonna be my turnaround point to make it a 6-mile run going back. And the road's been pretty good, kind of a steady climb out. But what's cool, got the river down there, and oh, I hope the GoPro picks this up. Down that notch right there is a gigantic waterfall. It's got to be 400, 500 feet tall. Starts like right there. It's multi-stage. It comes down and it pools, falls again, pools, falls again, pools, and then makes its way down into this river right here. Scott, you're not going down there to get a drink. That's a long ways. So, definitely getting rewarded by the bear tooth already. All right, I'm gonna start booking it back to camp because I have a growler of IPA from the One-Eyed Buffalo in Thermopolis, Wyoming waiting on me. And Scout, he just wants the tequila. All right, we'll see you guys in a bit. I just had to get a view back up that canyon there. Looks a little bit like the Dolomites. Not as steep or as open, but really pretty nonetheless. All right, Scott and I just got back to camp. We had a little bit over, if I can figure out how to get down to it here. Hang on a sec. A little over a 6-mile run up the highway here into the Beartooth. We have to get out the topo and look at kind of what we just did. Scout's over there, he just got some water, he's chilling out. It's getting filthy. Have to get him down in the creek here later and get him washed off and get him wet. Anyway, I get back to camp and Thornton's gone. I've lost Stevie somewhere along the way. And maybe he went for firewood, I don't know. We'll see. All right, so I'm gonna sit here, cool off, have some water, and then think about that One-Eyed Buffalo IPA. All right, here's this growler that I got at Tamarack Brewing up in Montana. I scratched it up a little bit, which is a shame, but it still works. Anyway, I got some of the, I think Steve's got me a session IPA with One-Eyed Buffalo while we were in there. So I'm gonna give that a whirl. Scott, you ready for the tequila? He's just relaxing from the run. Still no Thornton. All right. I am headed over to Sunshine Creek here. Try my hand with the Tenkara fly rod a little bit before it gets completely dark. We're about an hour before sunset. I don't have high hopes because I'm with the world's best fishing dog, if you've ever seen any of the other episodes. And let you guys in on a little behind the scenes secret. Sometimes I have to cut out the most exciting parts of fly fishing when Scout's around. It's just not suitable for all audiences. Anyway, we have this whole little basin to ourselves. So if I can't annoy a fish here, then obviously I'll try somewhere else, but you know. Brought my waders, as you can see. It's because I'm a very high-tech fisherman. This will be fun after the run. If you've ever seen a man in flip-flops with a fly rod carry a beer across a river basin. Oh, it's a nice deer track there. Why don't you go chase the deer, Scout? And let me fish. Steve said he saw a track over here that he thought might have been a bear. So we'll keep our eyes out for that. And I will definitely film if by miracle I were to catch a fish. But like I said, I'm not terribly optimistic. But it is pretty. Wow. Look at that. See, that's why he's the best fly fishing dog, maybe in the history of the world. He just goes out there, and what he's doing right now is he's working to corral all the fish in a direction away from me. I think he's actually on the fish's side. Oh, here's some tracks over here. What do we have? Those look like a very big dog track. And Scout has not been down here yet. We're about, well, actually, that mountain range right there, the other side of that mountain range is Yellowstone National Park. So we're at the park boundary, which is one of the best sanctuaries for wolves in the world. So we might get to hear some howling tonight. That would be pretty exciting. All right, I'm going to look around for a spot to fish. I'll update you if I do amazingly well. All right. I hung up my fly, so I packed the rod away and I'm going to head back to camp, and maybe I'll try it again in the morning. Scout was a very good boy. Good boy. He did not interfere at all. He had his therapy stick with him, so he didn't feel like he had to chase the fly. If I didn't mention it in the previous video, I'm going to mention it again here. The founders of Tenkara Rod Company, I called them from Jackson, Wyoming to let them know that I had lost the only line that I'd brought with me for my fly rod. And they drove out of their way to Driggs, Idaho to meet me halfway and bring me new fishing lines for my Tenkara rod. And it just doesn't happen. It was so cool. It was the founders that did it. And it was such a special experience, and I'm very thankful for it. And so if you're thinking about Tenkara rod, I would definitely recommend Tenkara Rod Company. I have the Filson edition, but they had a lot of different models. You guys probably know more about them than me. I'm trying to learn. But the founders are great people and went out of their way to take care of me because we were on this trip. And so thank you very much to them. Can't recommend them enough. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. They're just great people that went out of their way to take care of a customer. So it's worth mentioning. So Scott and I are going to head back to camp. And we've kind of already eaten. We had those street tacos. So we're just going to hang out. Maybe we'll start a fire. I don't know. So I'll check back with you in a minute. Scott finds this a lot easier than I do. I'm slipping around all over the place in my flip-flops. He just kind of trolls across. Ah! Whew. My feet are definitely starting to get cold now.
Too sure what it was.
He's got horns.
Huh?
He's got horns.
Oh Oh, yeah.
We can smell the slicking putting his nose in the air.
I think it's a 6-way.
He smells us.
Smells mostly Cody. Dude, he's a big boy.
Yes, he is. I think they regrow your horns completely every year.
Is moose any good to eat?
People hunt them, but I think it's like a big horse.
I just want to get it out.
Yeah, they lose that rack and regrow it every year. So I bet he's gonna have a big one. He's gigantic.
1,000 pounds?
Oh, he's over 1,000. Easy. Trying to move the camera over here. Find him again in the camera. Up there he is.
We'll put the envelope and now we get a moose in camp. Pretty good, huh?
Yeah.